CTV News with Angela Mackenzie.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The Montreal Canadiens have done it. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1 on the road to advance to the second round of the playoffs. Thousands of fans packed into the Bell Centre to watch. And Kelly, another tight game, but the Habs managed to hang on.
That's right, Angela. Definitely wasn't the Habs' best game of the series, but they managed to hang on to win 2-1 in Game 7 on the road. It was Nick Suzuki who opened the scoring in the first period, sending the crowd here into a frenzy.
Tampa Bay, but Montreal threatening here. Scores on a deflection, and Montreal throwing it towards. There's the deflection.
That's Suzuki's first goal of the playoffs, and what a time to get it. It was scored on the Habs' fourth shot of the game, and after that, it was all Jakub Dobeš. Keep in mind, he's still a rookie and didn't even begin this season as the starting goaltender, but he came up big tonight. Now, Tampa would eventually tie it in the second on a tip in front. That would make it 1-1. The Habs failed to register a shot on net in the second period. That's the first time they've done that in the playoffs in over 100 years of team history. But in the third, a weird bounce off the boards, and it's Alex Newhook with the hand-eye coordination to bat it in to give the Habs the lead. Despite a late onslaught, the Habs managed to hang on to win this one. Now, a few records to note here. The Habs were outshot 29-9. That's an NHL record for the fewest shots in a playoff game for a win. Dobeš becomes the third rookie goaltender to win a Game 7 on the road after Jacques Plante and Ken Dryden, so some good company there. Here he is, along with Nick Suzuki.
Many times in the season, the guys bail me out and help me out, and I try to do the same, and vice versa. Sometimes they don't play good, sometimes I don't play good, and they always got my back, I always got theirs, and that's our mentality. We have a really good group, good leaders, so just a really good locker room, so I will do anything. This wasn't anything special, it was just trying to keep the guys in it, and I was just waiting for them to get going, and that's exactly what happened.
I thought we had a great start tonight. Coming out in the second period, they kind of just, put a lot of pressure on us. We didn't, weren't able to execute and, do the game plan very well. So, regrouping in the third period was huge for us, and we didn't want to end our season like playing like that again. So we knew we had to come out stronger, and Dobes was able to hold down the fort for us when we weren't playing that great. So definitely don't win that series without him.
And while this was a road game, thousands of fans packed into the Bell Centre to take it in. Have a listen. Now, I've covered a lot of hockey games, and I can tell you the atmosphere was exactly the same as if there were players on the ice. Fans were loud, excited, and because tickets were $12 each, there was a lot of families and children in attendance, even though it is a school night. Now, part of the funds raised will go to the Canadiens alumni organizations, and of course, it's in Montreal, so it was a sellout crowd. Outside after the game, there were a few fireworks set off, but police broke up the crowd quite quickly. Fans here were clearly stressed during the game. I spoke to some in the dying minutes and just after the win was secured.
My heart rate is beating quite a bit, but it's worth it. It's all in good fun.
It's through the roof. I'm so stressed right now, but we got this. We got this. Go Habs, go!
100% never. I knew the whole time.
The best is the reason why we're here, I think.
It's going to be a tough series, but we got it.
And that tough series he's speaking about is round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Montreal now advances to face the Buffalo Sabres. Game 1 of round 2 will go on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock in Buffalo. So, Angela, we get to do this all over again.
All right, thanks for that, Kelly. That's Kelly Gregg, live from the Bell Centre. Well, the Habs win caught the PM's attention. Prime Minister Mark Carney took to social media saying the Canadiens are officially Canada's team in the Stanley Cup playoffs, adding, quote, "Montreal, we're behind you all the way." Well, a scouting event in Montreal is opening doors for young athletes, giving them a shot at being discovered and maybe making it to the Olympics. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil reports.
For many, the beep test is something to dread. Level 7, 8.
Here, athletes are lining up for it. Hundreds took part in this qualifying event where speed, strength, power, and endurance are all put to the test. For some, it could change everything. For bobsleigh athlete Valérie Perrault, it already has.
Olympics has always been my goal.
She was first spotted at a camp just like this one.
I had done basketball for like 13 years, and then bobsleigh reached out. No one approached me when I was at the camps. They sent an email later on, and I was like, oh, I didn't expect that.
In the past 11 years, more than 20,000 athletes have been identified through RBC training ground events. One of them, aerial skier Marion Thénault.
I was a gymnast and I was recruited in freestyle skiing at that moment. That's where a recruiter came to see me. That's how I was introduced to the sport.
With support from the program, she reached the podium at the 2022 Olympics, just 5 years after switching sports. Coaches here are looking for potential, not just polished skill. For some athletes, that builds on what they already do. For others, it opens a door they didn't know existed. Rowing coach Carole Sauvé says that matters.
Rowing is not being offered in schools. So we have basketball, volleyball, soccer, all those sports. So sometimes the young athlete doesn't know about the sport of rowing.
He's recruited dozens over the years and says the talent keeps improving. But for 25-year-old Kirk Nguyen, it's not just about being picked. After a lifetime of doing Taekwondo, he comes in with an open mind and a broader goal.
I think sports is a really great way to merge into health, mental health, physical health.
Thénault says that mindset can make all the difference.
There is no magic recipe. This program is amazing. It gives you an amazing opportunity, but you got to seize it. You got to go talk to the people. You got to go to these camps and give everything you have to let that opportunity flourish into something bigger.
Nearly 300 athletes took part Sunday, and among them could be the next Olympian. Laurence Brisson-Zubreuil, CTV News.
Hundreds gathered at Anguillon Park for the annual Walk So Kids Can Talk fundraiser. The event supports the Kids Help Phone Foundation and Youth Mental Health in Canada. The organization says it was contacted nearly 4 million times last year, and suicide-related interactions were up 43% in children under 13. The event raised nearly $4 million this year.
It is really tough being a young person, as I'm sure most adults, I definitely can recall having troubles when I was younger that I didn't feel like I could talk to my parents or even my friends about. So having a totally safe, anonymous, non-judgmental space to get support, to just say what you're feeling out loud, truly can make a massive difference. I would encourage anyone with young people they care about in their lives to do two things. One, to start talking openly and honestly about mental health themselves and make it clear to those young people that this isn't a taboo topic.
Kids and teens can access free and confidential support anytime at kidshelpphone.ca. Well, people living in Lachine are fighting to keep a pool project alive. It was ready to go, but residents say the new administration pulled the plug. Sweeta Rassi has more.
At René Lévesque Park in Lachine, Valérie Léger is standing near the water, holding on to an environmental authorization permit issued by the province. She says the city won't use.
It makes me feel like so deceived, like so sad about it.
The plan was years in the making, a designated swim zone on Lac Saint-Louis, enclosed by 4 docks with accessible washrooms and lifeguards on duty. It was launched by the previous administration, and in January, Quebec's Ministry of Environment officially signed off, clearing the way for construction to begin. But when the borough's new administration took office, residents say the project was abandoned.
They are telling us that it's for financial reasons, that they want to have a sports complex instead. They want to put all their energies on it.
Léger says it would cost $500,000 to build a swimming area. The new sports complex costs millions. She argues these are two completely different projects that serve different needs. Richard Cabana is a longtime Lachine resident and member of the local rowing club. He says while people do swim here during the summer, it can be dangerous.
The current is extremely strong. If you're not familiar with the area or if you're too young, the current can take you away very quickly.
Léger says it was never just about swimming. It was about giving everyone access.
Their chalet is here. This is their opportunity to access nature.
There's also a deadline looming. The permit expires in 2 years, meaning the city's last chance to build the pool would be next summer. and right now there's no sign that they will. Residents launched a Facebook page calling to save the project. So far, it has more than 1,000 members.
And I think it's a movement that will not go away.
We reached out to the borough of Lachine on Sunday. The mayor was not available to comment. Sweet Rassi, CTV News, Lachine.
Still to come, the National Assembly resumes sitting this week with a new premier in charge. MNAs will be sitting in the National Assembly this week as the legislature resumes, this time with a new premier. Raphael Melanson joins us now. Always good to see you, Raphael.
Good evening, Angela. Pleasure to be back.
So first, let's talk about Christine Fréchette. Now, in her speech to the CAQ caucus on Friday, she said she's not planning on slowing down her pace. How would you grade her first weeks governing Quebec?
Well, indeed, she can't slow down her pace, actually, Angela, because the clock is ticking already with only 5 weeks left to the legislature in Quebec City. And we see already that Christine Fréchette is very active on the ground and also announcing new measures. Just think, for instance, of no more welcome tax for new home buyers. That's a very good news for many families in the province this year. Tax breaks, also tax reductions for small businesses. That's something also that's very welcome from the business sector. So lots of things have been done already, announced, and I would say we have seen already a major change in tone. You know, the Legault government used to be quite confrontational on some aspects, and this tone has softened. It seems to be more moderate under Christine Fréchette. Think of immigration, for instance, but also just the union. She met with the union leaders this week. They came out of that meeting quite satisfied, saying for once we are hearing from that government a will to collaborate, not just be always in shock together. A change in tone also with the federal government. She has met Mark Carney, and despite the fact that the federal government tried to intervene in the province's field of competence, let's think of the announced training new skilled workers. Well, Christine Fréchette reminded the federal government that this is a field of competence of the province, but she remained very polite. So yet again, not too confrontational. And I would say also a change in tone regarding Montreal specifically, with the announcement of major investments to move forward with the reconstruction of the long-awaited hospital in the east end of Montreal, Maisonneuve-Rosemont Hospital. Also meeting with the mayor of Montreal. They are both good friends. They've known each other for a long time. And the appointment, I would say also, of two ministers, not just one. We have for nearly 8 years, we've had only one minister in Montreal within the CEQ government. Now we have two with the addition of Karine Boisvert-Roy as the new housing minister. So a change in tone also for Montreal specifically, whereas this government was not really used to being too keen to listen to Montreal's needs and priorities so far.
So, Raphael, we're almost out of time, but I just want to ask you, how much work do you think can actually get done since there's so little time before the summer break?
Yes, because as we know, the session was prorogued in Quebec City, so all the bills that were under study at the National Assembly are basically dead, so they have to bring them back. And in order to adopt them, they will have only 5 weeks left to the current session, to the new session. So, of course, they will have to prioritize. Some of them will be prioritized. One of them is a bill to allow women to look into the criminal records, the past history of their partners to prevent violence against women. That's a priority for especially the new Vice Premier, Yann Lafrenière, who's also the public safety minister. Another one is the constitution, the project of a new constitution of Simon-Jolin Barrette, the justice minister. That will be brought back to the National Assembly, despite some people who were expecting it to be basically dead with Jolin Barrette supporting Drainville during the leadership race. This will be brought back with major amendments, including some provisions to protect the rights of the English-speaking community. And the last one will be the protection of two ridings on the island of Montreal and in the region of Gaspésie, because they want to ensure equal representation of those regions. As we know, they were at risk of being wiped out from the electoral map. So the National Assembly will move forward with the adoption of those bills.
It's going to be a lot of interesting things to watch for. Raphael, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure, Angela. See you next time.
With growing numbers of people struggling financially, Montreal's shelters and missions are also under pressure to feed people. And that's where a group of women in Westmount come in. Caroline Van Vlartigan reports.
Every Monday morning, they're up with the birds.
Good morning, ladies. How are you all?
A dozen or so women armed with gloves and hairnets, a bit of time, and senses of humor.
Well, you wouldn't believe what happened to me last night with my hot cake.
Put them together, and you have the Ladies of Sandwich.
And it's lots of fun. You can see that we all have a great time together.
A great time catching up while making sandwiches. Hundreds of them.
Ding, 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 300.
All to spread nourishment and compassion to those struggling.
Ding, 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 310.
And, you know, we are imagining there's men, women, and maybe even children. And it might be their only meal of the day.
Depending on the week, it could be peanut butter and jelly.
It's comforting, I think. You know, everybody knows peanut butter and jam from childhood and all through their life.
Or egg salad.
We're basically self-sufficient. So, and if we're short of money, we find ways of getting donations.
But no matter what, there's always a layer of something else.
When you walk into this space, you're just met with this motherly love. You know, no matter who you are, where you're coming from, what's going on.
It's just satisfying because you're helping people. Yeah, and you know, the world needs help these days. A lot of help.
Their work goes to several organizations, including Bread and Beyond, the NDG Depot, and Union United Church.
Some homeless, some have no jobs, some are refugees, and some people just need the help.
We can rely on them every single Monday morning to kickstart our week for that first delivery.
All year, all year. You know, nothing stops the ladies from doing their goods.
The Ladies of Sandwich have been gathering here for the last 3 years. At about 300 sandwiches a day, they make about $12,000 a year. And with special events, that's close to 40,000 sandwiches and counting.
But the ladies don't only make sandwiches. They also collect toiletries, winter clothes, and have bake sales.
They call themselves Ladies of Sandwich, but the ladies of many things, basically, and support in so many different ways.
It's not just sandwiches that we're making, it's about building community.
A community feeling they believe can also spread.
We are hoping that when people see this, that they will look around their community and see what they can do.
Ding, 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 ladies, 420.
It's been a great source of joy, actually. It's a great way to begin Monday mornings.
Caroline Van Vlartigan, CTV News.
When we return, setting a new world record for a good cause.
Menswear provided by Ernest. Elevate your style with Ernest.
In Point Claire today, there was a relay race for the record books and for a good cause. 100 master swimmers swam a continuous relay, with every swimmer competing 200 meters. The event is now officially a Guinness World Record, the first for an event like this. Funds were raised for the WIAH, a West Island association for people with intellectual disabilities.
We also wanted to give back to the community. So we asked all of the participants to donate a minimum of $20 to WIA, which is a non-profit organization. And we're really happy to announce that we had 112 people donate, and we have over $8,000 donated to this amazing community service.
Congratulations to everyone who participated.
Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff's 50th anniversary gift event. Get a complete second pair and sunglasses as a gift.
Taking a look at the forecast, it's currently 10 degrees in Montreal with light rain expected over the next few hours. The week starts out with warmer temperatures and a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow afternoon. You'll likely need your umbrella through Wednesday with partly sunny skies returning later in the week. Well, that's it for us. For the latest news, listen to the Andrew Carter Morning Show tomorrow at 5 on CJAD 800 or head to ctvnewsmontreal.ca. Have a good night and a great week, everyone. Take care.